I don't think since I'm here we've played a game where we've had so many big chances and didn't score one of them. And in the end we needed a set piece to score, which wasn't a big chance, but a great finish from Trent.
If you'd have made that contact on a goalkeeper that Patson Daka made on Alisson, would you expect a free kick to be given against you or not?
Not in the Premier League. I've seen goals given in this situation, but it's the position where we're in now, where this goes against you. Luke Thomas was also on the floor with a head injury. You know, it can be blown off immediately on a head injury. That doesn't happen, and the ball goes in, and it's exactly the situation where we're in.
Listen, the season on a whole hasn't been good enough as a whole. From the minute we started to where we are now, it hasn't been good enough. We haven't won enough games, which is obvious, but the performance levels haven't been high enough. There's a frailty about us. We've seen a confidence issue hit with the players. Yeah, I think you can see that when you watch us.
5 games, Ruud. How do you make sure that that's not a miserable experience for you, your staff, the players, the fans?
It's the reason why a couple of weeks ago we shifted on those targets, because we saw it coming, and that is everybody showing their capabilities, ending the season in the best way possible, because next season the league start again. And the Championship will start again, and Leicester City will continue.
I was there in an empty Anfield when Jordan Henderson lifted the trophy. Will it be to do it in front of 60,000 people instead of a few dozen?
Yeah, you mentioned it. Yeah, you must have think about it. Of course, I can't deny it. If I would lie to you if it didn't cross my mind. But we still have a big game on the weekend, and I encourage everyone, Liverpool fans, of course, to be there, support us, and it will all be worth it towards the end. We worked so hard to be in this position throughout the whole season. We have been so consistent in the league, especially. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's keep it that way. But we still got a big job in our hands.
I love that, because on the one hand he does want to laugh and go, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, but on the other he's got to be professional.
I know, he's got a smirk on his face, hasn't he? Yeah.
Just try not to laugh. Look, Liverpool's shown this season they can win games in various different ways. Today it was width.
It was, yeah, and they wasn't convincing by any means, but this is why they are going to be the champions, because they just find a way to get the job done. And today it was the fullbacks. They set the tempo early on. This was really early in the game. A really clever, intricate move. Normally, Salah would have buried that, but he couldn't believe he's hit both the posts and come back out. But we just highlighted Tsimikas here. You see him, an underlapping run, which is very difficult to defend, and he's getting nearly to the byline. And another day, Salah would have put that in. Here, when we stop it, that's both of Liverpool's fullbacks, so they're playing very brave. They're very high up the pitch. Normally, see one and not the other one go, and it's actually Tsimikas that gets a chance. Good save. But you can see what they was trying to do. This is Bradley on the ball, clever play again, driving into the box at the Leicester defence, and the 2 furthest forward players for Liverpool are both fullbacks. So you can see the trend with how they was playing in the game. A little bit of skill from Salah. They just didn't have the quality until this man entered the pitch, and you kind of away. Great ball from Tsimikas, who had put in good delivery all day. They keep it alive. There's a post. Crossbar, it's half cleared, but Trent Alexander-Arnold is already anticipating where the ball's going to land, and then this is some finish that's his first goal with his left foot, yeah. But his technique, he's hit that better than some left footers could hit a half volley. It's an unbelievable finish, and then the celebration, and we can all read into it, but it means a lot to him. You can say that. Fair play. It was a great strike from him.
It does mean a lot to him, and we did sort of interpret various messages in his celebration, didn't we? And look, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, because they want to enjoy the moment they're in. But what they do in full-back positions going forward next season will be really interesting, actually.
Yeah, they've got a decision to make on Conor Bradley, whether he's going to be the number 1 right back, or whether they feel as if it may come too early to rely on him straight away, or they can invest in whatever. There's no doubt he's got the talent there, and if Trent is going to choose to go away, then good luck to him, because he's won absolutely everything there, and he's been a superstar. And I mean, the quality that you've got from Liverpool to bring someone like him on today to go and win you the game, because they did create chances. They didn't play that well, but they did create enough chances to score 4 or 5 goals on another day they would have.
Could you understand why the Leicester goal was disallowed?
Yeah, I think it's a foul. Yeah. I think that it's just that little look from Daka there at where Alisson is. if he didn't look at him just before the contact was made, maybe there's an argument. But he knows exactly what he's doing. Yes, it is soft, but it's a foul. I think we all agree in here that it's a foul.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with that on the goalkeeper. Maybe 30 or 35 years ago you would have, but not in today's game.
Which means Leicester still haven't scored at home. You've got to go back to December for the last time they scored at home. They've become the first team in top flight history to go 9 consecutive home league games without scoring. It's a bigger picture, though, here, isn't it, Alan? You know, the fans are very unhappy with the way the club is being run, whether that's at boardroom level, whether that's at the director of football level. Director of football, John Rudkin, the man who was director of football when they won the title. But they have lost their way as a club,
massively, yeah. You can see even today with the empty seats in the stadium, there was a protest before the game, and they've got some big decisions to make before next season. Well, a long time before next season, because it really has. I mean, 27 goals and 33. We've just shown there in the no goals at home for that amount of time, and they've been miles off it.
Reid van Nistelrooy said afterwards, I'm waiting on the clarity of the club and how they want to continue. And that actually sums up the feeling of the fans, is that they want some kind of clarity.
Yeah. The decisions need to be made, and that needs to be communicated to the fan base and everybody. And it sounds like the manager as well. Which direction are they going in? What are they going to do? Are they trying to bounce back? I think they obviously need players brought in. Because the goal situation would still be the same next season in any division. If you're not creating enough chances, you're not going to score goals, you're not going to win games. So, you know, for the manager, he probably needs some clarity. The players do as well as the fans.
Like I've said all season, I'm not going to speak on my situation. I'm not going to go into details. But these days like today are always special. Scoring goals, playing, winning games, being close to winning titles as well, being in title races. The special moments that will live with me forever, and I'm glad to be a part of them.
You can't replace him, because what he is, the reason we talk about him so much, I think he's the most talked about fullback we've probably ever seen in the Premier League, is because he's unique, he's different. And you've just mentioned about him defensively. Now, most top fullbacks don't get it thrown at them, they're not very good defensively. But he's so unique on the ball. I think I said 4 or 5 years ago, it's like having Kevin De Bruyne play at right back. You know, that's what it feels like in terms of his ability on the ball. He can come on and change games. So Liverpool aren't going to replace that. So Liverpool need to replace his creativity. They're not going to do that from right back. They need maybe to do that from an attacking midfield position, or maybe a left wing position. If Trent hasn't committed, which he hasn't, obviously, to the manager for next season, he shouldn't be starting games. He shouldn't be, because
even not for a send-off for him for what he's done for the club. You think about planning for next season.
Of course, Liverpool are not here as a football club to give someone a send-off.
Yeah, but I mean, you win the league for so long. He's been a vital part of that. I mean, yes, I understand what you're saying in terms of like you've got to prepare for next season. I totally get that point. I do, but for what he's done for the club throughout his years, been there since a little boy, they're going to win the league, just to give him a few more appearances and say, you know, well done.
No, it's not about that. The point we're being is, in Conor Bradley, you've got a young player. It's not like we're talking about a 27, 28-year-old. It's talking about a young player who had a tough 15, 20 minutes at the start of the game. And that's part of becoming like an experienced player. I went through that in certain games. Gary, who's commentating, would have gone through situations like that. It's not about, let's give Trent a send-off. It's about, OK, we need to assess whether Conor Bradley is the guy for us next season, playing week in, week out. Because the decision Liverpool will have in terms of Trent moving on is, does Conor Bradley become our first choice right back and we buy a backup player who's maybe a utility player who can maybe play centre back? Or are we buying a first choice right back and Conor Bradley's going to have to battle with him? So that lad needs as much experience as he possibly can get. So yes, bring him on, like you did today, if you need to go and win the game, maybe against Spurs or a couple of weeks after that. But in terms of starting games right now, if Trent hasn't committed to the club, which he obviously hasn't, Conor Bradley should be starting.
Leicester. I mean, Reid van Nistelrooy had 4 games in charge of Manchester United earlier this season, and they were fantastic.
Yeah.
But you know, the Leicester has been. It's been awful, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
The stats are simply that.
Yeah, and Ruud's he's letting everyone know there that it's not just Leicester, it's also Ipswich and it's also Southampton, and it is the teams that come up from the Championship who will find it very difficult. I think the gap is getting wider and wider. I think the teams that will come up this year will go down next year. I think it'd be a miracle for anyone to survive. You know, they try and spend the money. They haven't got an awful lot to be able to spend with the revenue and the financial fair play, but it's not looking good. But I don't care who went into Leicester, they would get relegated. You could have put Jurgen Klopp in charge of Leicester, taken over that squad of players, and the same outcome would be they'll be in the Championship next year. So, you know, he's going to get tarnished. He's going to look like he's a failure. Like Kieran McKenna, who's done miracles for Ipswich. A lot of them players played in League One. He went back to back to back to take him to the promised land. Southampton as well. Russell Martin, they got rid of him. Brought Juric in. It never worked out. They need a miracle to stay in, and that is the way the league is going, unfortunately.
He won't be there. I mean, it's your hometown club. You've got lots of friends who are Leicester fans.
Yeah, definitely.
He won't be there next season, Van Nistelrooy. No chance.
No, I can't see that at all. Whether he stays here and gets a Championship club or something, I don't know, or whether he goes abroad again, I don't know. I still think he's got loads to offer, Lude. Yeah. Loads and loads to offer.
But if he stayed there, D, and he took, this team could go up in the Championship.
Well, in the situation they are,
they kept every player, and then he's a good manager. He's the same manager as what he is now. Just that the players are not good enough in the Prem.
Do you expect Liverpool to be champions this time next week, having played Tottenham? There's a leading question.
Oh no, absolutely. The answer is yes. I do. I think Tottenham have got their eyes on the bigger prize. I mean, these three are relegated now.
Yeah.
If any other season, you know, if the bottom three were a bit more competitive, Man United would be sweating, and certainly Tottenham and West Ham would. Yeah. But at the moment, you would think that Tottenham's priority is Europa League.
Yeah.
Have to win that game, you know, that double leg, in the semi-final. So, yeah, their priority is not Liverpool, and Liverpool are good as well. Yeah. And it's an uphill task for Tottenham to win that game.
And you know, the gap between the Championship and the Premier League is just getting bigger. Not so much the financial, it's just the quality of football. Yeah. The gap's getting big, so they're finding it hard to stay there. They really are.
Absolutely.